You may ask, Ray, what do you get in return for everything that you're saying, everything that you're doing? And really, I don't expect anything in return, right? The only thing that I get right now is satisfaction from being able to express myself just how I've been doing these last couple of months. I get satisfaction from all of the comments that I receive now, thanks to YouTube, right? I get satisfaction from me being able to just give a little bit of my knowledge and wisdom that I've received through one of the hardest times in my life to anyone, right? I get satisfaction from being able to stand up for myself because of my gifts from the universe, because of my connection to the spiritual world, because of my connection with God, right? I was able to figure out what these karmics were doing, right? They were spreading lies, they were spreading rumors, creating lies, creating illusions, right? Behind my back, not even to my face, because I haven't spoken to any of them, right? I cut them all off. I blocked them all off the day that I found out everything that was happening. And how did I find that out? Right? Through my connection to God, through my connection with the spiritual world. And that day, I sent them all a text message. I know what you and you and you are doing, right? But it's okay, because I don't have to do anything on my end. God is taking care of it all. That was 8 months ago. And I blocked them all out, physically and mentally. When they figured, they were all shook, right? Because how am I going to be able to find out everything that they were doing behind closed doors, right? But I was. You know, it's kind of hard for someone to defend themselves against any lies, against any illusions, right? Especially when they're using this whole group of people, right? People that are in positions of power that are not supposed to be in position of powers, right? Going around people that I considered friends, right? Gathering up that energy, right? Trying to, gather it up and spreading lies and spreading rumors. And not only hard, right, to defend yourself against 1,000 people when you're only one person, like me, but it's also quite difficult to defend yourself when they're doing all this behind your back. And there is no way for you to find out what kind of lies are being told, what kind of illusions are being created, right? It's like, how are you going to defend yourself against something that you don't know? But thanks to God, thanks to the spiritual world, right? I was aware of it all, which is why I started to make my YouTube videos. And I am divinely guided, right? And not only do I listen to my guidance, but I observe the signs around me, and I take everything into consideration, and I make my own decisions based on that, right? And I was guided to stay to myself, to never speak to those people again, because eventually, right, that hate train, that hate bandwagon that they were creating was eventually going to crash. And just like I was told, that's how it happened. So imagine yourself, right? You're only one person, and the illusions that were being created, the lies that were being created, were also justified with falsified documents, right? Falsified evidence to try and make that lie and try and make that illusion even more realistic, right? And if you're not awakened, right, it's easy for you to believe whatever is being said, whatever's coming out of a mouth of a hater, whatever's coming out the mouth of someone who is filled with greed, who is bitter, of someone who is filled with jealousy, of someone who wants what you have, of someone who wants to dominate you. But like I've said before, right? Yes, it's easy to believe those lies and those illusions when it's being, presented with all these falsified documents and fake evidence, right? Of course, it's easy. But if you're a true friend, right, and I've been nothing but genuine with you, nothing but my true authentic self, I don't think how it could be that easy. But that's when the monkey see, monkey do part comes in, right? Follow the fake leader. Follow someone who seems to be religious, right? Follow someone who is bitter and jealous of someone who is truly divine, like me. But throughout this time, right, I had temperance, the protection that God gives you when all this chaos is going on, right? It was my safe space, right? Where I was calm, where I was protected from all of the harm that they were causing, right? Even though there was a lot of times where I was like, oh, you believed him too. Oh, you're going into that path. And as much as I wanted to like scream it out the ears, right, I couldn't. Why? Because they were also saying that I was crazy, that I was doing all of this black magic, that I was, harming people, right? And they wanted me to act crazy. They wanted me to get out of character, so their lies and their illusions could be justified even more. But when I learned that, I'm like, you guys are not getting me like that, right? So I had to do my part, right? I had to go within even more. I had to learn about my gifts even more. I had to go through so many dark nights of the souls by myself and really sit with myself and cry. But all of that made me stronger. Right? And while they were out having fun, while they were out partying and drinking, right, and overindulging on substances, right, I was at home with my dog, learning about my spirituality, getting closer to God, learning about my spiritual gifts, fixing shadow aspects of myself. And that led me to the moment, to where I am today, right? And I was able to unmask them all, one by one. I was able to figure out their whole plan, what they were trying to do, right? The whole setup. They were trying to take me out of the picture once they figured out how powerful I was. Trying to take me out of the picture when they figured out that I figured them out. The satisfaction that I get is being able to tell my story, right? Because this is not something that's seen often, right? Yet explained at the same time. But God gave me the gift to be able to relate this information in such a clear way where people are now able to understand what I went through and how I overcame that. That makes me feel accomplished. And that makes me feel like I'm doing my job. That makes me feel like I'm doing my life purpose. Confirmation. Yes, Spirit. I know.